Hello, I'm Richard Coleman, and I'm running for the office of Sheriff of Chatham County. And when I'm elected, I promise to inspect what I expect. Chatham County, it's time for a change, and that change is me, Richard Coleman.
I'm Patty Hewitt, and I'm worried about our future.
Last one?
I think about my grandkids and the belief that they deserve every opportunity. And what you deserve, what coastal Georgia deserves, is someone who cares more about their community than about corporate profits and big pharma.
I'll see you later.
All right, thank you. Small business owners and hardworking Georgians are the heart of our community.
Good day.
Not CEOs, not lobbyists, not shareholders. But who's taking care of them? It's time to ask yourself, what do you want from your government? This is our year to stand up against what we know is wrong. No more DC politicians invading our home life. No more racism that kills dreams and spreads violence. And no more corporate greed at the expense of workers' rights and our environment.
So what would be the most meaningful help to you?
I've spent the last 8 years working behind the scenes, mobilizing our communities for positive change. And while that is really important work, I can't stand by and allow the same tired politicians to run this country, the same ones who've neglected the real needs of Georgians. I'm ready to take our seat in Congress so I can fight for you and your families.
I vote for you.
Thank you, my darling. I love you. This isn't about party lines. This is about voting for a better future for more Georgians. Enough is enough.
Oh, I mean my friend, your Savannah homeboy, Clarence Thomas, made sure that I don't go to prison.
So Julius is in there talking to Trump. Ooh, I'm telling.
Well, good morning, Savannah. We're here this morning with the vulnerable community. Our guest will be with us shortly. He is an attorney with NAACP, and right now he's filing some briefs, and he's going to be about 5 to 10 more minutes before he gets on. But we want to start the conversation this morning. We have taken the liberties to go to the polls and vote. And it's one of the better things that we could ever do. And we have to encourage other folk to go to the polls and vote. We have so many people who have the idea that we have arrived, that they don't need to go to the polls and vote. But if we don't go to the poll and voice our opinion, then we might as well say we are giving our rights away. Because if you don't vote for something, then you're voting for nothing. And we need to make sure that we vote for something, stand for something. We have to get out and make sure that we're looking out for not us, but for our children and our children's children. Because what we vote for this year will affect our children and generations to come. And the outcome of this election is going to be real critical. So we need to make sure that we have made a wise decision, made a decision that is going to make our children and our children's children and their children prosper in years to come. We have different organizations out here working, trying to make sure that everyone is registered to vote and everyone is doing what they can do. So we need everyone to chip in. We don't need to turn around and go anywhere and go back and let nobody send us back or let nobody do anything that they shouldn't do. We have been fighting this fight for a long time. I can remember back in the 60s when we had to run from the dogs and we had to run from the fire hoses just because we were fighting, trying to get equal rights. And now people think that the rights are there, and they think that it's done. It's not done. It's not over with. So we're asking that you get out and you go to the polls and you vote. We're going to take another quick break, and when we take that break, when we come back, we hope by that time our guest will be with us. So we're going to take this break, and we'll be right back.
Need your garments cleaned with care and with a professional touch? Then bring them to One Price Cleaners in Garden City at the Old Farmers Market on Highway 80. Service you can count on.
Hey there! Are you ready to amplify your voice and embrace your passion? Tune in to Our Black Media Network, where community comes first and every story matters. We're here 24/7, delivering powerful content on everything from financial literacy to the latest in sports and mental health. We are unapologetically real, reflecting the heartbeat of our community with programs that inspire, empower, and drive change. Join us on all major media platforms to celebrate our unique voices and advocate for the change we want to see. With over 50K monthly viewers, our network is your go-to destination for authentic, engaging content. Be a part of the movement. Be a part of the change. Tune in to Our Black Media Network today and let your voice be heard.
Well, we're back with us, and we're here. We want to thank everyone for joining us on Our Black Media Network. We have been gracious enough they have allowed us to be a part of this network. Brother Julius Hall and Brother Charlie Brown. And I tell you, Brother Robert Bryant, these great fellows, they work hard at making this platform work and work properly. We have shows that come on 24/7. And while these shows come on, we're bringing you a wealth of information so that you can make great decisions on your own. The one thing that the good master has given us is a chance to make a choice on our own. We are the only animal that has been able to make a choice on our own. And we are being joined right now by our guest this morning. And we're glad that he could make it. We know that he's doing some legal work, so we're going to jump right in. And Brother Demetrius, introduce yourself, please, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. First thing first, Brother Jerome, for having me on this call. I'm glad to join you and the audience listening this morning. My name is Demetrius Calzer. I am a voting rights attorney at the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, or LDF for short, and I manage our voter protection efforts here in the great state of Georgia, like cities in Savannah and Albany, Waycross, up through Macon to Atlanta, and I help support our team's efforts over in Louisiana as well.
Oh, great. Now, can you explain to some of the people exactly what it is that you do, so they can understand what the legal defense does?
Yes, sir. So what I do is I provide support from LDF to our on-the-ground partners, such as Brother Jerome, such as the members of Delta Sigma Theta, such as other voting rights organizations working in the state to help remove obstacles to the ballot box that often prevent or obfuscate Black voters' access to the political participation process. And we utilize a number of tools. We provide nonpartisan and free voting rights information, like know your rights information, or a list of scheduled deadlines and dates related to the election. All of that is provided free in a print format to our partners. We also provide advocacy tools. We advocate on behalf of Black voters in state legislatures, at local county and city commission and council meetings, and with state officials. And we also utilize litigation as a tool as well, conducting investigations and filing lawsuits wherever necessary to ensure that Black voters have equal access to the ballot, to have their voices heard.
Well, just the other day, Demetrius had the pleasure to be in Savannah, Georgia, and we were talking. He was at a workshop, and we were talking. And as we were talking, the State Board of Elections decided they wanted to do a hand ballot throughout the state, hand counting the ballots throughout the state. Let me correct myself here. And what is the legal defense thoughts on that, or what are you all intend to do about? Is there anything that y'all intend to do about that?
Well, right now, that's a great point, Brother Jerome, and you're right. There are definitely concerns about the state election board's rule to require hand counting ballots prior to certifying, or during some duration between election night and that certification. And for us, we submitted a public comment to the state election board, noting our opposition to that rule, and noting what hardship it would provide to election workers, and then also to voters who could have their trust in that system diminished. And so we're monitoring very closely. We're going to continue to watch, and we're also just going to continue to navigate this in the most feasible possible manner, and also work with partners to try to generate some solutions that works in the best interest of Black voters.
Okay. Now, what are some of the things that the people can do that would help you and help the organization in getting through these legal problems?
Man, I think that one of the best things that the folks in Savannah and the surrounding areas and across the state of Georgia could do is, of course, send us stay in touch with LDF, but then also volunteer with LDF as a poll monitor. We engage in our poll monitoring programs around election times to ensure that there are no issues at local precincts and polling places, and if there are, we can respond quick, fast, and in a hurry to have those issues remedied. And we have a training and a certification process for our poll monitors, and so you'll be working with the best of the best with us. We love to engage with the folks on the ground, the folks that call their polling precincts and communities home, and that's the best way that folks can get involved. And then also, just be an advocate for your communities. Go and vote, right? Share important information with folks in your communities, whether it's your church, at your job, at your place, at other places of worship. what have you. And we like to be a resource for you in that way. If we can provide any nonpartisan voting rights information pamphlets, we most definitely can do that. But feel free to use LDF as a resource.
Okay, now we would like the vulnerable community to understand there will be a person here in the city of Savannah, at least one, if not two, or maybe more, as big as Savannah is. But we will have people on the ground working, and we will have people out monitoring, going from pole to pole, just to check to see what's going on. And they will be working closely with Legal Defense Fund to make sure that something is happening. If something happens, then we can get right on it and get it straightened out before it gets to be a big problem.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is what it's all about right here, Brother Jerome. This is what it's all about is being proactive and being protective and ensuring that, you know, there are eyes and ears on the ground to look out for those issues that may most likely will pop up. Because like you mentioned, Savannah has a lot of people. And when there's a lot of people on a big election day, like we're going to see on November 5th or even during early voting, there are a lot of rooms for, you know, some issues to come up. And so glad to be doing this work with you, sir.
We're glad that we're able to be here to do this work.
Absolutely.
When you start getting my age, we have to look for some more, we have to recruit some more fellows to do the work that we've been doing.
Hey, Brother Jerome, you taking care of yourself. You looking good over there, man. So I hope to be doing this work with you for a long, long time.
Yeah, somebody's got to do the work, and we need to we need to recruit some younger folk. And you know, it's good to see somebody of your age out there doing the work, and they see somebody doing the work that's younger than the old folk.
Man, that's a blessing in and of itself. And I think I give my grandfather a lot of credit for you know, my inspiration of stepping into this playing field and doing this work, Brother Jerome. He was my rock when it came to being civically engaged and informed. And aside from playing travel baseball, going from Waycross to Savannah and Jessup and Hinesville, we talked a lot about voting. We talked a lot about the 1965 Voting Rights Act. We talked a lot about, you know, the power of change. And, you know, I just hope to, you know, emulate the work that you're doing, and, you know, together, you know, raise another generation who can step in and fill our shoes when we're gone.
I hear you. We're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, I want you to tell that story that you told of how you got started and your reasoning for getting in. But we'll do it right after this break.
Join us for an unforgettable Caribbean cruise in June 2025. Hey there, are you ready for an adventure? Our Black Media Network is hosting an amazing Caribbean cruise, and you're invited. What's in store? 5 days of fun on the high seas. Join us for a fantastic getaway filled with parties, workshops, and opportunities to connect with your favorite show hosts. Network and connect. This isn't just a cruise. It's a unique opportunity to meet like-minded individuals, network with industry professionals, and make lasting memories. There's something for everyone. Don't wait. This is your chance to be a part of something special. For more information, reach out to our staff or your favorite show host. Book your spot today, and let's make waves together in June 2025. You don't want to miss this.
All right, we're back. On last Friday, Demetrius, like I said, was in a workshop, and when he got up, he told a story of how he got the reasoning for him, his inspiration behind being an attorney and doing what he's doing. And I'd like for you to kind of tell us a little bit about that story, Demetrius.
Yes, sir. Well, it starts with, you know, my background. I'm from Waycross. And some folks who may be listening or watching, if you don't know where that is, it's way on across Georgia, at the bottom of the map, southeast corner of the state, not too far from the Okefenokee Swamp. And very humble beginnings. Grew up on the dirt road my grandparents stayed, and not too far was where our house was, and 2 loving parents. I was the youngest of 3 children. Grew up in a public education system that I had some great teachers, and at the same time we had challenges of being Black in the county that didn't quite I guess allow Blackness to flourish as freely as it should have. If it were not for my grandfather that I mentioned earlier, or my parents, and supporting cast from family, I don't know if I would have made it out. If I made it out, I mean made it on to Kennesaw State, where I studied political science, and from there I went to Louisiana State University, where I, did law school, and then I came back to Georgia. All the while I felt like not going through the motions, but still also I didn't realize, what was going to be my end game, and I was searching for that why. And it wasn't until I noticed what my middle brother, my older brother, was going through, did I figure out what my why was. So my older brother, he's like a year and a half older than me. They call us ghetto twins. We were in each other's hip pocket from the moment I was born, and even now. And same upbringing, same resources, but different outcomes. My brother is right now in the Georgia Department of Corrections. And for me, I realized that my position as an attorney with the legal defense fund, my position as an attorney, period, is a privilege. And it gives me an opportunity to advocate on behalf of folks like my brother who can advocate for themselves because they're incarcerated in a state where 1 in 23 adults are on probation, in a country where 1 in 3 Black men will face some form of incarceration. And while he's in prison, he is he's inspiring me still. He's the reason why, in a large sense, I think I set off to become a lawyer, because not only are the situations of him going in and out of the criminal justice system, but also because whenever he was there, he found time to read. And if my brother could take time to read under that condition, in his spare time, I could definitely find some time to read in mine. And so the first book I picked up was The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander. And I think that was all she wrote. From that point on, I think I found a motivation. I found some inspiration, and I found a dedication to grow into this position that I am in right now, and to help facilitate change in all facets of life. And the best way to do that is by voting, because voting connects to issues of criminal justice reform. Voting connects to issues of healthcare, especially in rural places across Georgia, where the expansion of Medicaid could ensure that hospitals in rural areas in the state don't close. Voting connects to environmental justice. Voting connects to economic justice. And I'm starting to see this spider web of interconnectivity that voting has, and how it connects home for folks who are dealing with some very real life issues. And so my brother, and by way of trial and tribulation, triumph and victory, is my why. And I will now, hold that to heart and let that inspire me and encourage me to keep on keeping on, and help others define their why, and let them understand their path to political participation process and change their communities for the better.
I hear you. In the city of Savannah, Savannah's a seaport town, and we have one of the largest ports in the country, right here in the city of Savannah. And we've invited some people to join us. I don't know whether they have joined in or not, or whether listening on the podcast, but they're trying to gather support to support the longshoremen who will be going on strike very soon if they can't come to an agreement. And so we just want them to know that one of the reasons that they need to get out the vote is for those reasons. Have officials who are in place who can help facilitate these negotiations and make things work right for them and put them in the right perspective.
Absolutely, absolutely, Brother Jerome.
So we just wanted to make sure that we let them know that we have different organizations here. We've got people who have been incarcerated that have been told, and we've been trying to get that word out, that they couldn't vote when they can vote. If they've paid their restitution and they're their time, then they can vote. But they're using that as a tool against our people to keep us from voting, and we can't express that part enough.
That's right. Those tactics, those mis and disinformation tactics that scare people away from the polls are, of course, egregious. And that's why, the work that you're doing, Brother Jerome, to inform, formerly incarcerated persons of their rights, is important. The work that you're doing to inform those longshoremen of the issues that are, necessary to go and vote about, and ensure that they got the representation on the other side of the table when they're negotiating new contracts. All that's important. And at this point, it's the narrative battle. It's an information battle, especially as we get closer to the election, because you're going to hear a lot of everything, and folks need to know the information that they get is trusted. And so what you're giving out, Brother Jerome, from the moment we met over at Savannah State, that was some trusted information. And I want to just lift you up and amplify you right now on this platform and say y'all can trust what's being shared here. And y'all can trust what's being shared at the Legal Defense Fund, because in the end of the day, we want to make sure that as many folks that can vote do go vote. We won't tell you who to vote for, other than just go cast your ballot.
And that's the part that a lot of people don't understand. They want you to tell them who to vote for. You can't tell them. We can't tell you who to vote for. That's your choice.
Yeah.
But the the process is for you to go vote and cast your opinion and let your opinion be heard. Because if you don't vote, you don't have a say.
Come on.
You guys just say, well, I'm gonna take my bags and I'm going wherever they send me, because I didn't have a say. I didn't vote.
That's right. That's right. I think that, let's not accept defeat. You got a voice. You got power to use it. Go out there and use it. We won't. That's why that's also why it's just so important, because it's yours, right? And to not use it is to abdicate the duty that you have. Not only that, it's just to abdicate the power that you have. I know a lot of folks not in the business of giving their power away. So, yeah.
Yes, sir. I tell you, it is something. It is something amazing when we can get on and go to the polls and vote, and then when we look around, our vote shows up and counts for something else. Brother Demetrius, tell us a little bit about how y'all process work.
Yeah. Well, for LDF, there are a couple of processes that we undergo when we get information from partners or from individuals on the ground about a particular issue. Of course, we're going to receive that information and triage it and make sure we understand what the facts are, and then of course conduct some more fact gathering, and from there we take it and we see what applicable law is made available to help to remedy an issue if it necessitates, and then we go from there and begin to strategize, of course, internally at LDF, and then also with partners to see what the best strategy is, the best path forward is. And those partners are our local partners, our state partners, and our national partners, depending on the scope of the issue, of course. And then after we develop that strategy, it's all work from there, right? We put in the time to do the legal research. We put in the time to do the drafting. We put in the time to make the necessary revisions. And then, of course, we file whatever it is that needs to be filed. If that's some legal action or if that's an advocacy letter, we make sure that that statement is written or that those drafts are written and filed appropriately. And so that's typically some of the process. That's a process that we have, and it's typically used to respond to fires, big, medium, large fires on the ground. And there's more because LDF is such a multifaceted civil rights firm. Of course, we fight for racial justice on behalf of Black Americans, and we're particularly focused on the election right now. But this is also done 365 days a year, on during presidential election seasons and outside of presidential election seasons. And so our process is work year round. And of course, we're here as a beacon of hope, help, and light for folks who may be, encountering some obstruction to the ballot.
And when you mentioned the elections, a lot of people think that they have to vote in the presidential election and don't worry about the local election. But the local elections are very important. Yeah. And we have to get people to understand that it's from the ground up, not from the top down.
Yeah. That brings back to our conversation we was having, Brother Jerome. That's just so true. It's the ground up, like you said. It's the city council members, it's the county commissioners, it's your coroner, it's your district attorney. It's those folks who are local to you that have power and authority to make, impactful change that will greatly benefit you, or not so much. And this is saying that all politics is local, and that's so very true. We can't call the president on the phone to go fix that pothole on the street, or we can't call the vice president on the phone to get that street light that's been out for 2 months fixed, right? Those are the charges of your local council member or county commissioner, and those are the same folks that you vote for, just like you go vote for your president and your vice president. So make sure you vote in those local elections. They matter just as much, if not more.
I hear you. I hear you. All right. I wonder if my producer Julius Hall is around. Brother Hall, if you're around, can you join us for a minute? He must be hiding in the background. But Julius and I have been very instrumental in going around. A lot of times we get called a lot of different names. All of them ain't good, but we get called them. But that's all right. We're doing what we have to do. Julius created this platform, so, and it has been one of the best things that I think that we've done in this area, getting the word out to the Black community.
Yeah.
On our Black Media Network. And we ask people to share it and share it and share it, continue to share it. Because when we get the word out, if we can educate our folk, then we won't have to worry about a voteless population being a hopeless population. We will be an educated population that has voted and made wise choices. In doing what we do and what you do, about how many? I know we got 159 counties in the state of Georgia. So how many workers do y'all have under your belt, and how do y'all go about obtaining y'all workers?
Workers internally, I think we got about 120 staff members, and a lot of times, they get recruited just like a normal job offer. Right, but these folks, that work internally don't all focus on voting rights, and our team of voting right dedicated attorneys and field members is a little bit smaller of that chunk, and man, our bandwidth is limited and we're spread thin, and so we're always putting out a call for volunteers, and right now 159 counties, like you said, Brother Jerome, and there's not a we could still use more volunteers, especially in Chatham County and the surrounding areas. And what we do is we put out a call. We have a sign up link. We have a link that we can share, and then we focus folks' attention to our LDF website, where they can get in touch with our voting rights work. But there's a number of ways, and you and I can connect offline too, Brother Jerome, to get direct contact between myself and others who'd be interested in this effort. But those are typically the avenues we go about: our website, through email, and through one-on-one conversations.
I hear you. We're going to do a quick break, and we'll be right back. And when we come back, we want to tidy up some loose ends and let you get out of hands, because I know you're gonna get busy, and you're a busy man. But we're gonna do about another 10-15 minutes, and
I got time for y'all, Brother Jerome.
All right. But we'll be right back.
See, that's why I like the Rebel. They actually made an excellent point. You women do need to start sharing your husbands. It'll make the world a better place once y'all realize that.
Out of everything they talk about tonight, that is the only thing you remember.
There are 8 billion people on this planet. 6 billion are women, 2 billion are men. So if you do the math, that is 3 women for every man. The scale has to be balanced, and polygamy is the perfect balance.
One man and one woman is all the balance that's needed.
Okay, think about this. If I had 4 women, you be my front woman, right? If I had a side chick, I would have to at least get one for the other side, because there's 2 sides. And I would have to have one behind me. That's the backup chick. Just in case one falls off at the side, you always got to have that backup.
I am the only queen in your kingdom. Don't get any ideas, Zoo.
Now, all I'm saying is you should at least think about this.
My God will judge you.
Fine. One woman is all that's needed. But if you're going to keep doing this, we ain't going to be watching the Rabble together no more.
Hey there! Are you ready to amplify your voice and embrace your passion? Tune in to Our Black Media Network, where community comes first and every story matters. We're here 24/7, delivering powerful content on everything from financial literacy to the latest in sports and mental health. We are unapologetically real, reflecting the heartbeat of our community with programs that inspire, empower, and drive change. Join us on all major media platforms to celebrate our unique voices and advocate for the change we want to see. With over 50K monthly viewers, our network is your go-to destination for authentic, engaging content. Be a part of the movement. Be a part of the change. Tune in to Our Black Media Network today and let your voice be heard.
They slipped to have a commercial in on me just now. I was back here laughing so hard. I had no what to do. All right, G, you got me, boy. You got me on that one. But Demetrius, let's get on the serious side for a minute or two here.
Yeah.
When the people come to volunteer, when they volunteer with y'all, what are y'all expecting of them, and what are y'all looking for?
Man, we're expecting them to have fun. We're expecting them to have a commitment to racial justice, and we're expecting them to, see that their work as a volunteer has a definite impact on protecting the voting rights for Black Americans, Black Savannahans, Black Georgians. What we're looking for is whatever time that they're willing to give. It could be an hour, it could be 4 hours, it could be the entire day of the election. And with that, they'll get everything else from us. If they bring those items as, prerequisites, realizing that the work that they're going to do is going to contribute to upholding democracy, and realizing that any time towards this effort is greatly appreciated. We'll supply the rest from there. We have the information and the training that we'll provide for them, of course, free of charge. We'll have the instructions that they'll need, so they will always have a sense of knowing what to do. We'll provide them with the contact information to get in touch with myself and with other members of the LDF team, should they encounter any issues or should they have any questions while they're on the ground. And what they do while they're on the ground is, like, you go to a polling precinct, and since by that time you'll be trained on what issues to look out for. You're looking out for issues such as, is there a long line at this precinct, right? You'll notate that. Is there someone, standing and shouting at people in line, telling them that they can't vote? You'll notate that. Is there an individual in a wheelchair going to go vote, but can't get through the doorway because the door is closed and it's too heavy for them to open? You'll notate that. All of those issues could be barriers to the ballot box that we notate and that we respond to and will get fixed. And then not only will it work in the short term, right, but we keep track of all of those notes for our long-term advocacy. We've taken notes from places like Savannah and Macon, or from places like Jackson, Mississippi, or Mobile, Alabama, and we've included it in a very comprehensive document, and we've given testimony on it in congressional hearings. We've given information, and we provided information and advocacy letters to state and federal leaders to ensure that polling precincts have the resources that they need, and that polling precincts are abiding by all relevant federal and state law, and to ensure that there are no structures that are being barriers to Black voters. So that's all we need from folks looking to volunteer. That's all will be required of folks looking to volunteer, and we'll be the resource with you, your friend, the entire time you volunteer.
Okay, about how long does the training section take? If we put together, if we can pull together a group of volunteers, how long would that training session last?
That training will be 1 hour. A 1 hour training will have you prepared to go out and monitor polling places around the county.
Okay, and how close to the election can that training be held?
Well, we're doing trainings now, and we like to typically go up until the week before an election, so that last week of October will be the last week we likely provide a training, since the election will be that November 5th, that Tuesday.
Okay, and is there a number that people can call you directly and let you know and talk with you about issues?
Oh, yes, sir, absolutely. And so that number would be 646. I'm sorry, Brother Jerome. Can y'all hear me?
No, you broke up on us.
Okay, yes. Yeah, I got a good phone number for you.
Okay.
All right. That number is 646-906-1344.
646. Say it again. 646.
646-906-1344.
Right. There you go. That's for information.
Oh, for sure.
Brother, all right, G, why don't you come up with us for a minute, brother? This brother, this the producer for us. He is a tremendous young man that likes to hide in the background. But he has been in politics for himself for a couple of rounds now.
I see a note. Thing said, let's do part 2 next week. I'm here for that.
Must be. But we have many controversies going on,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the controversies going on here is around our DA.
Mm.
I reckon you've heard about some of that.
Yes, sir.
So, have y'all been asked to look into any of that? Can you say?
We haven't been, but because I'm a native Georgian, because I'm from Waycross, and because Savannah's near to my heart, of course, I keep up with everything that's local. And I think that we don't have a position on it at LDF, but I think what this exemplifies is the voice and the power of people in the community in engaging with their public officials. And I'd say, elections have consequences, and people have that right to use their vote as their voice and for which direction they think that their county and their district attorney's office, their commissioner's office should be going. And so that's what we're most fundamentally going to be caring about is, making sure that the folks can go and have their voices heard. But to get down into the minutia of it, everything that I read in the AJC or that I read in the local newspapers, I try to, so I can stay abreast and understand, what are the top of mind concerns for the folks in Chatham County. And y'all do have quite a few races on the ballot this year, important races on the ballot this year. And, we implore folks to understand and know what's on the ballot and to make their decisions as best fit.
I hear you. We're going to do a part 2 of this next week. Are you going to be available next week so we can do part 2?
Brother Rome, I make myself available for you now. That ain't no words. I don't think. Let me make sure. Pull up my calendar to make sure. Yeah, next Tuesday, I'll actually be in Georgia. I'll be on the ground in Atlanta, and what I can do is make sure I'm set up in our Atlanta office on that day, because typically I work from our DC office, and so if we're doing it at the same time, I make sure I have some availability for it.
Okay, well, it'll be at 10 o'clock. We're gonna do part 2 next week.
Good.
And we'll have a couple other guests with us, and we're going to inform. There go Brother Bernard White. Yeah, Bernard White, you'll be here with us next week too, so we can get this on the roll.
Yes, sir.
This is more information. This is the kind of information that we need to get to our vulnerable communities.
Yes, sir.
And we want you to wrap up real quickly. Just tell us, just wrap it up for us real quickly, and then we'll wrap up the whole show, and we'll see you again next week.
Yes, sir. So let me wrap up, y'all. Look, again, Brother Rome, blessings to you. Thank you so much for having me on air this morning. Thank you for everybody who's listening. Thank you to the people of Savannah. And thank you again. I love for folks to come and volunteer with us. And if there's anything that I can do to help in that process, I can stay in contact with you, of course, Brother Jerome, and also others. You can get in touch with me in that phone number I provided, or through Brother Jerome. And I'll say this too. There's this quote from our founder, Thurgood Marshall, that this is your democracy. Make it, protect it, pass it on. That's what we're doing right now. We're helping to make a more sound, inclusive democracy for Black Americans, and so that we can protect it for not only our present day, but generations beyond us, that we can pass it on to them. They continue to carry the torch forward. So look, it's been an absolute pleasure to be with y'all this morning. I look forward to part 2 next week. All
right, Savannah, you've heard it. And not only Savannah, but the state of Georgia and other places. You've heard the word this morning, and we're glad to have Brother Demetrius, and again his last name, Causey.
Causer, yes, sir.
Causer. Demetrius Causer has been with us, and he will be with us again next week for part 2. And we will have a tremendous show next week. So look for y'all to be with us. And until then, God bless, and see y'all then.
Take care, y'all.
I'm Patty Hewitt, and I'm worried about our future.
Last one?
I think about my grandkids and the belief that they deserve every opportunity. And what you deserve, what coastal Georgia deserves, is someone who cares more about their community than about corporate profits and big pharma.
I'll see you later.
All right, thank you. Small business owners and hardworking Georgians are the heart of our community.
Good day.
Not CEOs, not lobbyists, not shareholders. But who's taking care of them? It's time to ask yourself, what do you want from your government? This is our year to stand up against what we know is wrong. No more DC politicians invading our home life. No more racism that kills dreams and spreads violence. And no more corporate greed at the expense of workers' rights and our environment.
So what would be the most meaningful help to you?
I've spent the last 8 years working behind the scenes, mobilizing our communities for positive change. And while that is really important work, I can't stand by and allow the same tired politicians to run this country, the same ones who've neglected the real needs of Georgians. I'm ready to take our seat in Congress so I can fight for you and your families.
I vote for you.
Thank you, my darling. I love you. This isn't about party lines. This is about voting for a better future for more Georgians. Enough is enough.